Joining us right now on the phone is the man who exposed the Bigfoot hoax, Steve Kulls, private investigator and executive director of Squatchdetective.com.
The numbers of sightings, even if you take 99% of them and put them in the trash can, you turn around, you still have that 1% that can't be explained. Well, we need to explain it.
And then this thing walks across the road, makes a turn towards us.
All I can remember is flipping the light on, and I see this creature.
Went to look forward, and there was a big black thing, is all I can call it.
The whole time, the whole thing was shadowing us, right behind us, right on the side of us.
I still see that damn thing to this day. It wasn't 20 feet from me.
You could see it standing from the moonlight in the tree line.
I was just scanning right to left, and it reminded me of like a gorilla.
Get somebody out here. Son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Welcome to Squatch-D TV, exploring the Bigfoot mystery each week with your hosts, veteran researcher, author, and TV personality, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, and from the Bigfoot Research Project of Kentucky, Chris Bennett. Sit back and buckle up as we bring you guests from around North America discussing the Bigfoot phenomena, but not without a few laughs, too. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, September 10th, 2023. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, along with my co-host, Mr. Chris Bennett.
Good to see you, man. I hope
How
everything's
are
going
ya?
well for you. Well, we are still kicking, and glad to be back in the saddle.
Welcome to season 4.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. We take that.
Everything. Yeah.
Welcome to season 4 of Squatch-D TV. That's what I take. We take our little summer break there. And this time it was completely unintentional. We didn't plan on taking a break, but I want to bring you good folks to speed on some things. And it's been, Chris, and I know for you too, it's been a rough few weeks.
It sure has. It's just, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like everything's hitting everybody.
Yeah. So let's do our roll call real quick. Of course, we got Mick Siphon in the chat, Uncle Bones 2M, and Chris, who's looking for his peach Snapple. Charlotte J, welcome. Low Rider, hello, sir. He's looking for his peach Snapple as well. Patrick Barron, good to see you, sir.
Patrick.
B. Lynn B, how are ya?
Hi, B.
And we got a new one, Tony DiGiulio. Welcome, Tony. He's from Philadelphia, PA. Hello to Philly. I love
Philly. Welcome.
Philly's a fun town if you know the right places to be at. I mean, I went down to, I was there, maybe about 10 years ago. I went down and one of my buddies that lived down there took me out to where M. Night Shyamalan gets his cheesesteak. So it was supposed to be a really great cheese. It was awesome.
Wow.
So really, really cool place.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Jay Fritz. Hey, Jay, how are you? One of our members. And Tom Connolly. Tom, good to see you. He says, it's the Giants game. It's this or the Giants game. Easy choice tonight, LOL. And little Kilroy was over there. Yep, he was over in Nikki's show, which we just coming back from. And when that show ends, they'll probably most people be wandering. Another one of our members, Sasquatch Wizard Adirondacks. Hello, Wizard. Good to see you. Mary. Jen is in there. Hello, Jen. And we got Mary Rollers in the house. Angel Nolan. Eyes in the Woods. Don Fuller. Hello.
Good to see you.
Who else? Charlie Wonton popped in. Hello there, Charlie. So I hope everybody is
Matt,
doing
Central Florida Bigfoot.
Oh, Matt's in the house. Good to see you, Matt. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking something real quick.
See Leon. Hi, Leon. Bigfoot.
Leon's in the house. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see him in the other.
The chat is hopping. Well, it just jumped on me again.
Yep.
I think we got everybody. Bruce, welcome, Bruce.
Bruce. Bruce Strachan and hey, Mike. Mike Ann is in the house.
Mike, contact.
Mike, good to see you. I hope you're feeling better, brother. Oh, Pat from Squatch Talk is present.
Pat.
So, all right. Let's just check on there. I want to welcome also a couple of our newer members, Rowdy Route and SS Space SS.
Right.
Walter Kroll, Finding the Trackway, is now a member as well. Bigfoot Society. I'm just going down our member list here.
Welcome aboard, guys.
So,
appreciate having you. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate it.
I want to throw a shout out to those guys real quick. And what a couple of weeks it's been.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me to a point where I stood back and I looked at everything. And there is a Bigfoot community, like it or not. Deny it or not, it's there. Yep. It's very fractured, and it always has been. It's always been different groupings.
Yep.
And you know what? It's so good to hang out with folks like Brent, sometimes Pat over at Squatch Talk.
Yeah.
Leon.
Yeah.
Curious Cryptid, Steve.
Yeah, Steve.
Mike.
Yeah.
And of course all the gaggle that comes in here every week, like Grasshopper, who's here, and Little Kilroy, and all our members here, like Jay Fritz, who came on and honored us with his story.
Mm-hmm.
And you make the community what it is, your own community. And within our group, we can look outside our own group at the greater community. Yeah. Because no matter how you look at it, a community is, the United States as a whole is a community, but it's made up of a lot of different pockets, a lot of different cliques, a lot of different groups, a lot of different people. But what's important is the people around you. Hey, and Richie Rich is present.
Hey, Rich.
Good to see you. It's very important to do all that. It's very important to have your friends and your groups and your people that respect you, and respect is given back. And it doesn't matter necessarily what you believe. If you come to this channel and you are not trolling or anything like that, and you believe a Bigfoot comes from a UFO or Bigfoot comes from whatever, that's fine. That's okay. We can have that conversation. We can have it without hating each other. We can have it without animosity.
Yeah.
We take care of each other. And that's item number 1 I want to go over tonight. Now,
we have similar views, even though we're from different parts.
So let me just explain the reason why we didn't show. The reason why we didn't have a show on early September, the first weekend of September, number one, it was also Labor Day, but on August 28th, I was dealing with my stepson, my wife's son. His best friend committed suicide. So I had a lot to deal with that weekend, and a lot of heavy stuff. And that doesn't necessarily put you in the right frame of mind to do a show. And then the news just got worse because the weekend broke, and then I found out Larry Batson, Larry the Animal Guy. And he's been on the show many, many years ago. Great guy, was a animal educator from Indiana. He's been on late night TV shows before. And he's a friend of mine. And, I posted some pictures on my Facebook page of, a little tribute to Larry and his wonderful animals that he liked. And that he brought with him to Chautauqua a couple of times, and that I got to experience, like the Saharan desert turtle, which is really cool because I was feeding him. And I got to hold the boa constrictor for the first time at that time. And I held a tarantula. And then we got to the alligator. That wasn't too fun. He was pissed. But Larry just flipped him over and rubbed his belly, and the alligator went to sleep.
Wow.
I don't know how that works, but
I don't either. I wouldn't try.
Right. So Larry passed away. Of course, the last couple of years he'd been suffering from Parkinson's, and he'd been slowing down. And but all the while still doing his podcast on Facebook. He would do a podcast on Facebook.
Right.
You know, Larry the Animal Guy or Larry and Friends. And he had a baboon that he kept, but as he got weaker and a little less agile, they penned the baboon. Now the baboon is back in the house again. So very, very, very sad. So we got hit with that. So now we move into the really sad thing. And then this concerns one of our friends. And he actually backed up co-hosting when you were out with some ailments. And that's Joe from, Joe Snyder from the Relic Hominin Inquiry. Let me get the graphic up. So, and I say this is going to be really hard. So Molly, his wife, and Joe's been dealing with, for those who don't know, been dealing with liver cancer. And he had some scans. And yesterday's post was by his wife. And it says basically, so yesterday we came to the ER because Joseph had lost the ability to walk. They did a CT scan and found the cancer had spread to his bones. They found basically tumors on his vertebrae and ribs. And there's also a fracture to one of his vertebrae. And we met with the hospitalist this morning and we're told that Joe's cancer is spreading fast and he only has a few months. The best they can do is manage the pain so he can spend his last days at home with his dogs, cats, and his wife. And anyway, I want to say this to Joe because I know, Joe, you'll be watching this in broadcast. I know you were over in Nikki's show for a little bit because they were getting ready to medicate you, and when you get medicated, you kind of get zonked out, and I get that. But Joe, we love you, and we love Molly too.
Sure do.
And so anyway, folks, there's a GoFundMe page for him. And if you can give, a couple of bucks, that would be awesome. They're almost halfway to their goal, which is awesome. But Joe and Molly are in for a long few months.
Yeah.
And, Joe and I have actually, we've met, we've been out in the field, and, Joe was supposed to actually spend a few days with me the end of the month go to the Whitehall thing. And that's, of course, that's all scrapped now. Looks like Joe's squatching days are over with, but, and Joe, and I couldn't post this video because I saw it this morning, and, I said to myself, how can I do a show? But then Joe said something in his video this morning. He was very upset. He was crying and saying how he loved everybody, and I can't believe how, the GoFundMe page and you guys are, and, his final wish really is for us to carry on. To carry on, take care of Molly, and carry on. And do him right. Do him right by carrying on. And he was very honored to be in our company. And so how can you do a show? You do a show, you do exactly what he said. Honor him. So
hang in there, Joe.
Hang in there, Joe. We love you. We'll be there for you. The GoFundMe page is there. I'm going to put it on the banner in a second here.
I After the show, we'll do a link down in the description too.
Right.
You can put that in there so you can just click on it and go straight to the page.
Yep. Anyway, and I don't think we're gonna go a full 2 hours tonight because I've actually been on for an hour and a half with Nikki, a little over an hour and a half, and so another hour and a half. I'll be on 3 hours tonight. So probably go an hour and a half tonight. But let me get back to the chat here. And you know, all I gotta say is that Joe, look at the chat here. If you look at the live replay, look at that chat. You have touched so many people in a good way.
Yeah.
Chris touches people sometimes, not necessarily in a good way. No, just kidding. And I know that'll give you a little chuckle too.
My wife touches my eye sometimes.
But you've touched us all, Joe, by your honesty, by your candidness, and by your encounter and having the courage.
Yeah.
And last October, Joe was at the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot conference. And for the first time, I got him to get up in front of the crowd and tell his story in front of a live audience. He was nervous as heck, but he did it.
Oh.
And I hope that helped him. And people were captivated by his story.
Yeah.
So it's been a tough week. And it's going to get tougher. We all know that. All right, let's move on. Joe, we got to carry on, like you said. So I want to give you another bit of news too, which necessarily wasn't good news. But apparently Jeff Meldrum was stricken on that Bigfoot cruise he was taking out to Alaska.
Yeah.
Apparently he had gotten sick during the middle of his presentation and had to be, the boat had to divert to get close to the shoreline so the Coast Guard could pick him up and take him to the hospital. Luckily, Dr. Meldrum's wife is with him. And apparently he is now, the good news is that he is stabilized. And this was the last update I got. The good news is Dr. Jeff Meldrum is stable. We heard he was flying from Ketchikan to Seattle. So that is all good news. So at least we got some good news today. Because
don't know any of the particulars. Just he had some sort of medical incident.
Right. And that's what I keep it. I would leave it to Dr. Meldrum to explain more about what happened if he wants to. It's medical. All we know is he was at time this morning. There was a post from Todd Neese, one of the Western longtime veteran researchers. He's been on the show, years ago as well. Who said he's not doing very well. Please pray for him. And now 6 hours later, we got an update, which was a lot better, stable on his way to. So keep your prayers going for Doc Meldrum. I got to say, even David Paulides, even though him and David Paulides butted heads in Florida, David got the word out to, pray for him. He's a great guy. Let's, rally. And that's class. So
yeah, that's classy.
Thank you, David.
Certainly.
That's class. Yeah. It's class. As it should be.
Right.
Because there is nobody in this, friend or foe, if you want to consider somebody a foe. I don't wish anything bad to anybody.
Yeah.
No, this is so a little bit offbeat tonight. So let me light this real quick. Because I need one. That was pretty tough getting through that.
Yeah, this summer has gone out with a terrible bang.
Yeah.
There's so much bad news from all over. and affects a lot of people that we know, a lot of people that we love and care about.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
So Dennis says, I'm fighting depression in the Celsius rating. Well, Dennis, welcome. And I'm sorry we have to have such sad... Dennis, I'm sorry we have such sad news tonight. Usually we have a lot of fun, and we still can have some fun.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is very, very, like I said at the beginning, we can have decent conversations. Where did we lose the Bigfoot community? Have we lost the Bigfoot community? Because you know what? I hear a lot of people saying, oh, there's no Bigfoot community. There's, there's all this infighting. Folks, it's been going on since day one I've been involved in this. And I've been involved in this a long time now. The 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s. I'm in my fourth decade of Sasquatch research. Right? Fourth decade. And granted, I came in towards the end of the 90s, last couple of years.
Yeah. It's a surprisingly large community of Bigfoot people out there.
Well, you have your enthusiasts, your investigators, your researchers, not
everybody sees eye to eye, and that's to be expected. But I'll tell you what I kind of expect or would hope for is that just because you don't see eye to eye with somebody,
old, but I'm still kicking.
Just because you don't see eye to eye with somebody's opinion, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're enemies. It just means that, you don't have the same opinion.
And you can still be friends.
Right. Yeah. Me and Steve butt heads, but we're still, pretty good friends.
It's not even heated. It's not even. And there's a lot of nice tributes going on to Joe in there.
Yeah.
And yes, there are Patrick, and we're gonna take your comments, and we're gonna take a lot of your comments tonight too, and put them up. The Bigfoot community is huge, unfortunately, and there's some idiots that just love to disrupt. Absolutely. There's trolls.
It's true.
And hey, sassy Squatch girl popped in the chat. Hello, sassy.
Welcome.
There's a lot of people that butt heads. Let them. I do not necessarily butt heads with a lot of people. People think I do. Yeah, thank you.
Well, they're really, well, what you do, Steve, is not really, I wouldn't consider that butting heads with people. It's just kind of like exposing a fraud. Right. And there's really no nice way you can come out and say, to a person, hey, look, you're a liar, and this proves you're a liar. There's really no nice way you can do that.
Right. And I had we had actually a kind of good conversation at Brent about burden of evidence and calling a person a hoaxer, which should be the burden, and the burden should be on us to call a person a hoaxer. I strongly feel somebody says, hey, I had a Bigfoot sighting, and people say, well, and I understand that term, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Sure.
But is a roadside crossing of a Bigfoot or seeing a Bigfoot for, a few minutes, is that extraordinary? In our business, no. What's extraordinary is videotaping it for 20 minutes or videotaping it for a minute and a half with no explanation. What's extraordinary is, I have a gifting bowl and it keeps leaving me things. What's extraordinary is, I left it fruit on the bench and the fruit was all gone the next day. What's extraordinary is all these tree formations. Well, what's extraordinary about that? Number one, how, so again.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Some things that, we can accept as like, hey, that's within the realm of possibility of a biological creature. And,
no, Pat. No, Pat. The Bigfoot world is a big lie. No, it's not, Pat. You haven't been in long enough. Sorry. You're a noob. Sorry. You might have been around 5 years. You're a noob. To me, you're a noob. And when you say absolutes, if there is no Bigfoot community, then why do we have all these different Facebook groups? Those are communities by definition.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry. Deal with it. It's not a community to you because you can't deal with it. And the people that say there's no Bigfoot community cannot deal with it. You know why? You know how I can tell there's a Bigfoot community? Look at Joe's GoFundMe page. That's why. Have a little respect for Joe. Joe feels he's part of the Bigfoot community. Yep, and Tom Slanka says what destroys community is paranoid kings, hoaxers, and people who claims they are invisible. Now, Nikki brought up a lot of great points, and I held back my point that I wanted to make about this, but Nikki says, oh yeah, it wastes time on research, it wastes our valuable time, and it gives us a bad rap, they put it, it makes us look bad. All of that's very true. But the one thing it does, and I want the people that are the pareidolia kings out there, the pareidolia kings, that take random pictures and see Bigfoot in every picture, or the people that are the hoaxers that have somewhat of a conscience left. What you're actually doing is you're doing a disservice to the real legitimate witnesses to the phenomenon. Yeah. The people like Joe, and that's what motivated me to do tonight's show, is by people hoaxing, they are disrespecting Joe and his sighting. They are disrespecting. I could care less if they disrespect me. I could care less if they disrespect the science. What I care about is the valid witnesses who want answers. And then these people give them false hopes sometimes. That's my main gripe with hoaxers. That's my main gripe. And how am I wrong with that, Chris? Am I wrong with that belief?
I would agree 100%. It's not going to be easy for, it's not a difficult thing to do. I mean, it's not easy job to do to get out there and try to sort through all these sightings and stuff and information to find out, well, what we got here that lines up with what we're doing, what seems out of the ordinary,
No, and again,
if you have people putting fake stuff on there, it just takes away from everything you're trying to do to promote the real stuff.
Maybe a community, yeah, but no evidence shows the fact it's all entertainment driven, and it is. Really, Pat? Well, again, you haven't been around long enough before there was an entertainment factor. Because
wait a minute. I'm gonna go to bat for Pat here. Because if you're over on the International Skeptics forums, it is all about entertainment, and it's all about being driven about entertainment. Because those guys, most of them, 99% are not skeptics; they're scofftics. Right. Those are people who have a job where they're really beat down during the day, and they go home at night and they really want to take it out on somebody. And so they get on the keyboard, they start beating up on anybody they can find. And, unfortunately over there, they love to beat up on Bigfoot people. So it all is about, it's all about entertainment for them over there.
And I'll say this. I have spent, pardon the French, I have spent fucking months in the woods. So don't tell me that this is all fucking entertainment, because it's not.
No.
Fucking 3 days with dysentery.
Well,
because I was out in the friggin' bush for that friggin' long. Yeah. Pardon my French.
But there are shows, TV shows that do it as from an entertainment aspect. They try to edit it in such a way to where it'll create more, keep you coming back through the commercials.
Right.
So, that's true.
You know what? I have been around fires with many of great people, too. Yeah. Don't tell me there's no community. Don't tell me this is all for friggin' entertainment. That's okay? Right. Because I was doing this long before even YouTube even friggin' existed. In fact, it wasn't until 2012, 2014, 2015, we started YouTube being used for Bigfoot at all. Right?
Yeah.
Remember the days without, it's been a while, but I remember the days without YouTube. 2012, we were still dealing with forums. Yeah. And we were still dealing, and nobody was getting paid, and the same bullshit was going down then. Yeah. Except now you're getting a proliferation of clickbait channels that put out bullshit stories and baloney No, I got you there, Pat. No, I understand, but don't think it's for entertainment only. This is not all for entertainment. What I'm doing is not for entertainment. Yeah, I have to list it as entertainment because it's just easier that way than say science, and then there's no paranormal category on YouTube. And unfortunately, Blog Talk saw the importance in creating a paranormal category.
Yeah.
Due to the popularity of my show, which I was the first Bigfoot show on Blog Talk.
Yeah.
I was like the second podcast. I mean, this goes back to 2006.
Yeah, long time ago.
But when do I put stuff out there that's just strictly to make money? Do I clickbait anybody? If I clickbait anybody, it's usually a reveal of saying, hey, this is fake. You know, is this really a Bigfoot? Did Bigfoot ring a doorbell? And then you open it up and, oh no, I'm exposing it. Hey, this is fake. That's honest. I got you. I got you, Pat. Okay, good deal. He's not talking about you. He's talking about Bigfoot online community. And yeah, I think there's a lot of talkers and squawkers. So I'll agree with you there. A lot of talkers and squawkers because, again, people need to feel important. They want to jump to the head of the line.
I think maybe there are some people that get out there and they make up a sighting because they have some sort of need, or maybe they're like really lonely, you know. Right. So those people, I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as hoaxers, but they're definitely people that need a little attention.
Absolutely.
What they're doing is not, it's a little bit outside the norm.
But what gets me is that a lot of those folks, like people like Steve Isdall, people like I'm trying to think of his name. Well, anyway, the Sasquatch Ontario guys.
Oh yeah,
not even so much Isdall. Isdall doesn't do any Bigfoot research.
No,
we know that. He'll make a phony claim that he found this print, and you look at it and it's square, and you find, he'll he posted a trail cam picture one time. It turned out it was that Mark Anders guy, that one of his photos.
Yeah, just recycled.
Garbage, and then trying to claim a little bit late and try to put the innuendo that it was his own.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Entertainment, and that's what Isdall is nothing but entertainment. We get that. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing about that, B. Anybody can belong to the Bigfoot community. I believe in Bigfoot. You can join a group and talk and ask questions and that's like that.
Sure.
But it's the people that want to butt the line without doing the work.
Yeah.
No, Gary, the best out there is not Steve Isdall. Sorry. I'm insulted. I'm sorry because you know what? You're looking at the best out there.
Little difference of opinion there with Steve Isdall, but everybody's welcome to their opinion.
Whoop, somebody's got hang on, I gotta check something real quick. But
now I would say that's entertainment. He's doing entertainment there because there's nothing really educational about what Isdall does. It's just this is a story somebody sent to me in an email. And I see a lot of channels that do that kind of thing. And, I would say they are, rather than discussing actual research and trying to get down to the bottom of the mystery, they're just kind of making money on a boogeyman channel story, boogeyman story channel. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And you know what? If that's what turns you on, then that's what turns you on. If you want to go to that entertainment, you're not whatever, but they're propagating lies, and that's bad for the community. And none of Steve's stories are vetted. We know that. He gets them an email, he reads them.
Yeah.
I had another thought too, but butting in line, a person like the two idiots from, the one particular idiot, Patterson from, and yeah, I'm name calling tonight, like the guy from Canada there, Sasquatch, Ontario. Here's a guy comes in and he butts right to the front of the line. Oh, look at me, I got all this evidence, look at me. He hasn't put any damn time in the woods. He hasn't done any real research. All you do is see pictures, and you never see any real type of attempt at trying to break down at what he's looking at. The only time he did was when he got called on the carpet for those stupid gorilla those, altered masks that he was using. That altered mask he was using with a little bit of velvety, thing in front, trying to claim that was its arm or something like that. So, really, dude, if you need to be that special, why don't you go to the kiting community or something like that and make a really good kite? Put the work in, for crying out loud. And that's the biggest issue I have too, is, these people don't want to put the work in. And then there's people, and this is again alluding to what's going to happen this week. And I'm doing a deep dive this week. So let me, I'll address that. I'm going to star this one for a second.
Chad is hopping, yeah.
Yeah. So Tom, I'm going to get into that in a second. I lost my train wreck of thought again. What was I saying, Chris?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm reading through the comments.
Yeah. So, you have the people that butt the lines and they don't do the research, and people fall for them and try to claim that is the gospel. But let me just get to this comment here. It says, MK Davis, Steve Isdall, even Missing 401 have really made up so much nonsense and supported liars. Crypto reality is just as bad. But here's the thing. Do I think MK Davis necessarily is doing stuff intentionally supporting hoaxers? No. I think he's just that gullible and he's that spun out that, you can tell, you will tell eventually a person's judgment. And I remember what I was going to say. I remember a person's judgment. A person's judgment eventually will come out in time. And everybody elevated MK Davis because he had done so much work with the Patterson Gimlin film.
Right.
And then,
oh, welcome.
Hey,
Bigfoot
congratulations,
Society.
Bigfoot Society, for a member for 1 month. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You made it. MK, he's a gentleman. He doesn't talk badly. I'm not going to talk badly about MK. I think I'm going to say as a man, I respect the guy. I like the guy. But I disagree with a lot of what he says. I think it's misconstrued. I think it's uneducated because he's not an investigator and he's trying to do this big investigation. But he rose to prominence. And I don't know, when he rose to prominence because of that. And I remember him saying, I'm doing this for Roger's memory. And then months later, he turns around and comes up with this massacre bull crap.
Yeah.
Now, I truly believe he believes that this is what happened. And unfortunately, okay, is this the guy I want to have on a big case with me? No. Because I've seen constantly him supporting Mike Sells, who was a Texas hoaxer with the fence climber video where it stepped over the fence. I've been to that fence. I know what Mike Sells looked like. I know Mike Sells had a ghillie suit. I've seen his other videos, which were clearly Mike.
Yeah.
Right? It's a hoax. But you want to believe it, that's fine. But the bad thing about that is that other people are believing it. That's why people come here and they get the alternative. And that's really the important thing.
Yeah.
Steve Isdall just reads stories and, he believes in the massacre theory and he's made some threatening language. And you know what? There's no place for that. I don't even watch his channel. It's garbage. It doesn't leave anything of value.
Yeah.
Okay, at least on this show, although we babble a lot sometimes or have guests on or whatever, at least once in a while you'll get to learn something or you get an expose on the channel, right? You get to learn something.
Education, yeah. Accidental education in there every now and then.
And yes, is this partly entertainment? It's entertainment, the fact that we bring you facts and we have fun and we laugh.
Yeah.
That's entertainment. But it's not, nothing we say is not true. We give you the facts as we see them and as we believe them, or as we can prove them. And if they're not their opinions, then that's what they are, opinions. So,
and, nothing against MK Davis. That's fine. I have much respect for MK. I really do. He's done some really outstanding work in these processing these videos and clean them up, especially the Patterson Gimlin film. That track where you see he's got he took the camera image that was up and down, and then he took it frame by frame and he laid it out to where Patty's not moving up and down. You see a nice straight smooth walk a pace track line there. He did all that, and I very much respect for that guy. But when he's reviewing his videos, he sees a lot of things that I don't see personally.
Right?
Like the red waters he said was blood. I just don't see that as being blood. But now maybe he does, and kudos. That's fine.
You know what? That's his opinion. Right? Sure. He's got no proof that's blood. He's making the charge. It's his. When he was at the supposed although you talk to the Bluff Creek Project, they say that why does this camera keep tilting the other way? I'm sorry, I have a little trouble with my camera stand.
The men in black are playing with Steve's camera. That's what it is.
Jeez. I don't know what is going on with that today. Maybe I bumped the table or something. I don't know. I tried to bring the camera down because it used to sit so far up instead of looking down on me. I brought. But according to the Bluff Creek Project, MK never even went to the right site. But one would think, and if one was really an arduous investigator, you know what? And I'll say this much: MK took plenty of soil samples. Do you know that? Did he send any out for testing for blood? No. Do you know what he did with it? He sold it when he was doing conferences.
Oh.
Here's a little jar of Bluff Creek dirt, $5.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what he did. And that's the truth, and that's the facts.
Yeah.
Oh, now, had I been out there, if I go to the actual site, I would take samples of that dirt.
Yeah.
And see if it tested positive.
Right.
With luminol under blacklight.
Yeah.
Right? I would actually scrape away. I would find how much sediment would lay over so many years, and I would go down to the depth and take some scores of dirt. I would probably take about a couple 100 pounds of dirt and luminol it, and then put it under a black light to see if any of it is reflective. And that's either going to prove it or disprove it. And if I was out there, I would do it likely to disprove it. But no, MK took that dirt, and instead of having it analyzed by science, he sells it to make money
for profit.
For a gift.
That's not exactly the way to go as far as being an investigator. But now Donald Fuller says, I have to disagree because he's added anomalies that weren't there, like the hemorrhoid. Well, that's true. That's one
Very
of the,
true.
Again, that's one of the things he adds that maybe he's
the braid. Remember, he said something about a braid or something silly like that at one time.
Like I said before, just because the video work that he's done has actually increased the resolution, improved the resolution of what you can see. But he just may tend to see things that we or other people may not see.
But the Todd Gatewood stuff is completely an artist rendition. We talked about that earlier. So that's completely. And you're going to hear somebody really go off on the Gatewood stuff. Talk to Michael Merchant. He railed on that. Yeah. So I'm not even going to get into the Gatewood stuff because that's nonsense. That's not evidence. That's an artist rendition done by a computer. And, and I'll just say this. He may say it was mathematics. It's still AI because AI runs on math too. Computers, they run on nothing but math. When you add light to a filter, when you add, when you change an audio to amplify it, when you do all of that, it's all mathematics inside the computer that does all of that. So
1010011.
Have a good night, Stephen. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Dave.
Huh? So yeah. And that's a very well. Tom Sklanka said Chris Porcupine Noel has done some great work, but he's also done some shady work as well. And let's say this. Don says,
exactly. That was my question, Don.
Well, he had done some work, some good work in the early 2000s. It's pretty down to earth. He did a lot of investigations out in the Vermont area, northern Vermont. Took a lot of case reports. Okay, that's doing your job. But then he came up with that whole, I don't know if it was in Texas or wherever, the Impossible Visits book and stuff like that. And so he started getting a little bit out there. The reason why I don't like Chris Noel is because I had made mention many years ago, and what people don't understand is this. Now, I need to explain this first before I explain what my beef with Noel is and why I will never deal with that man ever again. And, actually, it does move the ball down the field, and you see that's where you don't understand that diversity, inclusion, and stuff like that actually will move the ball down the field. And if you get a handle on a community, on certain communities, and you've got to create your own, basically. I consider you guys, my audience, part of my community. Right? It certainly moves down the ball. If you all can get on the same page, you can move the ball down the field. And what does move the ball down the field exactly, Pat? That's what I'd like to know. Because you know what moves the ball down the field? Putting boots on the ground, which is where I'm going to be this weekend. And the following weekend. And the weekend after. That's what moves the ball down the field. So you're right. This doesn't really move the ball down the field, but it gives some people some ideas and where to look for the right places and the right information.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And and again, I get diverted from my original thought. So the whole Noel.
Hey, Brent. See, Brent, there, the tall ones is on. Good to see you, Brent.
So do you folks think that this YouTube stuff and this clickbait stuff is anything new? No. Absolutely. We dealt with it in 2008 in Facebook, in 2007 on Facebook, with a group called Facebook Find Bigfoot. And somehow they got whatever monetized on Facebook. I don't know how or what their end game was. So I never really found that out, but they were getting a huge following. I mean, like 11,000, 12,000 followers. I think it went as high as 40,000 on Facebook at one time. And they were doing the same thing that all the clickbait artists are doing now, looking at old photos and trying to give some explanations. No, Pat. Not everything. The formation of a team or the formation of a method is what moves the ball, is the first thing before evidence. You just don't go aimlessly out and find evidence. You have to plan, proper planning. Improper planning means piss poor performance. Remember that one too.
Well, I think, one of the things that helps move the ball down the field is, since of what subject we seem to be going back to, is that if we can put our community together to where we actually see what evidence is being presented, and then we question that evidence rather than accepting it 100%. Oh, that's that's a Bigfoot. Well, is it? We got to look at it. Is this a guy in a suit? Is this a guy? This is a guy in a ghillie suit or something. And
because what do sighting reports give us?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sighting reports, legitimate pictures, legitimate video. What does that give us? If it doesn't give us evidence, what does it give us? See, this is what this is why people who, why certain people who don't investigate for a living don't understand. Well, how is this moving the ball down the field? Because it gives us intelligence.
Yeah.
Right? It gives us intelligence. When I look at a series of crimes, I don't know, Pat. I guess where you come from, tracks aren't evidence, but tracks are technically evidence. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different things that we do personally, like when we discuss with different witnesses. One of the things I like, especially if I speak to witnesses that claim they saw somebody drinking or saw one of these creatures drinking. There's specific questions I like to ask them, and to see, to work on a theory that I have.
We vetted the witness. The story seems legitimate.
Right.
We vetted the audio. We vetted the whatever. And of course, audio can be very subjective as pictures, as anything else can be. But what does that give us? It gives us intelligence. Just like when I planned for an organized retail crime ring, they used to come in, they used to steal, and they used to get away with stuff. I wasn't there, I didn't have a team in place there. But guess what? Same thing with if I'm trying to catch somebody busting the workman's comp rules or somebody cheating on their spouse. You may not get that evidence that day, but what you're gaining is intelligence. Everything should be looked at in the form of intelligence.
Yeah, you speak to 10 people that go out to an area during the day. None of them. Yeah,
but Pat says track evidence technically and could be hoaxed. Yeah, anything can be hoaxed, Pat. Anything. I mean, how many murder scenes are staged to make it look like something else? How many crime scenes are staged to make it look like something else? Happens. You have to evaluate the evidence, and scientists have.
Well, it's not going to be difficult to accept that.
See, the problem is that science looks at it. Well, that could be hoax, so I'm not looking at it. That's their attitude. Simple as that. And you know what? You're drinking the Kool-Aid of science, of the skeptics is what you're doing. You're drinking the Kool-Aid and you're being cynical, and that's the problem. Pat is being worse than a skeptic. He's being a cynic. Where nothing is evidence, unless you get a FLIR thermal drone image, which is not going to prove nothing either.
If people saw something, if they witness a Bigfoot, there's nothing they can do to prove that to a skeptic
Chris,
or a skeptic.
I'm going to interrupt real quick.
Yeah.
Molly, if there's anything we can do, you got my number from Joe. Get my number from Joe. You call. We are praying for him every day, and I know Joe don't believe that sort of thing, but we still pray, and we love him, and we miss him, and I'm working on a couple of things, so
hang in there.
Wow.
Glad to see he's got to come home. That's good. Being home helps.
See, now what? Stories can be made up and we learn nothing from stories. Well, that's because you're ignorant. You're being ignorant, and you're about never mind. But you're being ignorant because if you can't learn nothing from a story or a piece of intelligence, then you're ignorant, and that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. You're just being ignorant, Pat. Sorry. You know, why, Pat, why are you even Bigfoot research? Matter of fact, you're going to come here and try to tank and troll because that's what that is. You're going to say, oh, stories don't mean nothing. This doesn't mean nothing. This doesn't mean nothing. Then why are you here? Why are you here? You're pissing me off on the wrong friggin' night, Pat. Wrong friggin' night.
Oh. Well.
See, and folks, I'll tell you what. See, it's okay to have a skeptic in there because you know what? Ben Radford won't say what Pat's saying. Right. Think about that. Joe Nickel won't say what Pat's saying. You know why? Because they're not cynical. Pat's being cynical. End of story. You're going to be cynical, you're useless. Because a cynic does nothing. A cynic ends up... the cynical general is the first general to go down on the battlefield.
Oh, well. Steve, there's one thing that I've learned, especially when dealing with somebody with a skeptic attitude, and I'm not saying that's you, Pat. Okay, you're doing a little trolling. Okay,
right. So if they're your opinions, then state they're your opinion. If that's your opinion, then you're in the wrong show, because ours is about moving the ball down the field, and you're finding every excuse not to move the ball down the field. Simple as that.
But if you've had an experience that you can't prove, you know,
now, people, stop name calling. Please don't stop the name calling. Just let it go.
No. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. Everybody.
Right.
Now, if you've had an experience that you saw one of these things, you can't prove it. You know what you saw, but you can't prove it. And you'll never be able to prove it to anybody else that says, you're lying. Convince me. Prove what you saw. Well, you know, you can't.
I didn't say that, Pat.
Don't try.
I didn't say opinions aren't welcome. But that's all they are, their opinions, and they're bad ones. Simple as that.
Well, yeah, opinions are welcome, but trolling.
Because you know what, Pat, at one time you used to respect what I said. But I don't know, something got in your head somewhere down the line, and now everything I say, you got to pretty much 99% of the time, you got to sit there and object to. Sorry, man. If you don't like what I say, there's another channel you can go to. I don't get it. I just don't get it anymore. I'm sick of it.
Well, there's a difference of opinion, and then there's trolling. What Pat's doing here is he's fishing for a reaction from you, and he's getting it, Steve. He's getting
it. That would be trolling, wouldn't it?
Trolling, yeah. So that's the difference. And believe me, I know a little bit about trolling too, but not here. No.
I don't know what happened. Somebody got in his ear or something, and all of a sudden, everything I say now, he wants to object to. So,
well, that's fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
Everybody can have a difference of opinion. You know, my opinions are closer to agreeing with yours,
and agreed very much. Tell Kantar 86, the vast majority of people who see them can't prove it. So you have to take their stories.
Yeah.
And you have to see, now he's gaslighting.
Yeah.
Now he's gaslighting.
If you've had a sighting, of course you're not going to be able to prove that. I mean, even if you took pictures of it, it's going to be blurry. It's going to be a blob squatch. But don't worry about it. You know, it's not up to you to have to prove what you saw to anyone. It's not your fault that they did not have the same experience as you had. And, you know, there's nothing in the world you can do. Oh, you could wish they had the same experience that you had, but because they're lacking that, they'll never understand. And you'll never convince them.
Raptor makes a statement. So the story doesn't mean it's real unless you have proof. No, that's not entirely true, Raptor, because direct evidence in a court of law is a story, somebody's witness account, right? Now, again, I will talk the difference. And before I do that, I want to say that Molly just said that I'm a skeptic too, but I believe in my husband. He saw something, and I'll probably now dedicate the rest of my life to prove him right. And Molly, you are welcome in my camp any day of the week. So I want, when all this shitstorm comes to be, I want you in my camp.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being skeptical.
Right.
And I think we all should be skeptical. But we shouldn't, go to the extreme to where everybody's lying unless they can prove what they said is true. Well, this is not going to get us anywhere.
Raptor makes a great point, and that's that. I'd love to address that because you got to understand, not all stories are true, therefore not evidence, not true. It's a judgment that you have to make whether or not even a fool who remains silent appears as wise. Well, Kilroy, that was probably the best comment of the night.
By speaking with witnesses, you can gain knowledge of these creatures' behavior. Because the witness can describe different things that it saw the creature doing. And if that jives with other information that you've collected or written down, then that means what they're saying kind of goes to what these other people saw.
Right.
If you get a witness that says that his Sasquatch was pink with blue polka dots, well, you compare notes with what you've written down from these other accounts. Right. Nobody else saw someone like something like that, so that could be questionable. That's a red flag. Okay, this person saw something different.
Can somebody tell me what the difference between direct evidence and an anecdotal story is? Does anybody know? I'll give that a second.
You're speaking on testimony, right, Steve?
Well, I'm just waiting. Okay. So, no, there is no knowledge from stories other than they look like primates. Pat, you were so far behind the curve.
Wow.
So far behind the curve. So far behind the curve.
Dude.
You haven't talked to many witnesses, have you?
He's not watching the show at all.
Other than on a podcast.
Matt, I'm sorry, brother, but you have not watched this show at all, man, and you just outed yourself right there. And I have nothing. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any ill will towards you whatsoever.
I don't either,
man.
Pat. You're frustrating as hell.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, you're frustrating. Wow. You're just frustrating, Pat. That's all.
Yes, there is lots of knowledge.
You were so far off the mark there. Then you don't know how to interview somebody. Sorry. Behavior says a lot. What did it do? If you haven't, obviously he hasn't read what would Sasquatch do and how important. And by the way, finding a trackway gets the anecdotal a second hand. Amen. Amen, brother. Amen. You can tell, and finding a trackway is a member of ours, so you can tell he's following our stuff pretty well. Yes. Good job, man. We give you the gold token today. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Don't we know somebody that has an 80% success rate? He saw a Bigfoot being born too. And that's Chuckle from last show. Inside joke if you weren't over at the other show.
Oh no, I missed it. I'm sorry. I was having Chicago pizza.
Right. So, and that's something the skeptics will tell you is that Bigfoot is only supported by anecdotal evidence. No, it's not. There's been plenty of tracks found, but science ignores them. The mainstream science ignores the tracks.
Yeah. Those don't exist. See,
Pat, you're not listening. Okay. You know that Sasquatch Chronicles is not knowledge. You know that, right? You know where to get, and that's why it's important to out the good evidence versus the bad evidence. See, the first step is kicking out the hoaxers. All right. If we can all, as a group here, say, hey, listen, this show is bad information. That show is bad information. This show is bad information. However, these shows are some great information.
Well, it kind of goes back to where I was talking about interviewing the witnesses earlier, and I said, if you interview one guy and he says, I saw a pink Sasquatch with purple polka dots.
They can be hoaxed, but Pat, so can any other track.
That is a great point, though. Tracks are trace evidence and can be hoaxed. So right. I would like to ask Pat, would you say that every track that's ever been found that was claimed to be Bigfoot was a hoax? Every single trackway that has ever been found that was claimed to be,
including the one I found after I heard it walking around us and smelled it.
Is every single one a hoax? What would you think?
See,
what would you respond?
There is the cynicism setting in again.
Is every single one a hoax? Because you need 100% of them to be a hoax. You need every single one to be a hoax. We only need one real one. Only one.
No, Pat. No. So you determine what shows are good story information. No. What did I say? If we can all agree on what shows are some good information. Like, for example, we vet probably like 95% of our witnesses. Right? Unlike certain people. Talking about 35 Bigfoot encounters, whatnot. So, and if you've been burned like that, I understand your cynicism, but it's time to start going in. The reason why the ball's not moving down the field is because you're using that 4-letter word can't all the time. Can't.
But, there's a way when you vet your witness and you're speaking with them and you're taking down what they say.
Tire tracks can be faked. Trace evidence can be faked no matter what you're talking about. And guess what? A lot of times trace evidence is just circumstantial. Remember that too. Even DNA. DNA is circumstantial. People don't understand how police usually get to point A to point B with DNA. They just find DNA. It's useless. Because you know what? It's just circumstantial. Okay, their DNA, they're certain, let me rephrase that. If they find DNA in a house, it's circumstantial. Other than finding DNA in, say, inside on a body or something like that. That obviously the level of circumstance kind of closes on that. But if they find somebody's DNA, say in a house or on a doorknob or on a windowsill. Thank you, Matt. I agree. Anyone that's out looking is doing something. Amen.
That's right, Matt.
Anything with, so you find this DNA, say on a doorknob, well, then they have to prove that wasn't there by circumstance. I knew, a lot of times that has to deal with people that, okay, you found DNA next to the body. It's not on the body, but it's next to the body. You have to prove that evidence occurred there in the commission of the crime.
Yeah.
So,
plus you'd have to prove whose it is.
But that's what a good interviewer does. Is right. Then they start asking questions. Well, I've never been in the house.
Yeah.
And once they make that statement, boom, you got them.
Right.
I never knew that person. Boom, you got them. Well, so you have to have that little bit of, so, okay, here's you saying you were never there, but here's your DNA. That's how they get to buy that deception. Right.
Yeah. Well,
now, you have a track. You have a track. Yeah, they can be faked. Hell yeah, they can be faked. But other than Meldrum, Who's looking at the tracks that's an anthropologist?
Yeah.
Crickets. Yeah. It's not the fact that there's not trace evidence or physical evidence. It's not trace evidence. That's physical evidence. They find a tire track at a crime scene. That's physical evidence. They find a foot track, a sneaker track, a shoe print. That's physical evidence. They find a bare footprint. That's physical evidence too. And they found bare footprints in blood at certain murder scenes. Could they be faked? Absolutely.
Well, and
absolutely.
I gotta say too, once you've seen the real thing on the tracks, you can instantly look at one that's been faked in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, boom, fake. Now, that's a stomper. That's a stomper. There's certain things that they do, and you know, Meldrum can do that. He can look at a casting and say, "Oh, this is a fake. This is a fake." You know, that's a stomper.
Right.
That's a bear. That's a double step.
Exactly. Where was I going? I had lost the whole Chris Noel story. We were talking about Chris Noel way back when.
Yeah.
But as the story goes, is as I mentioned, the first group that ever did this like clickbait stuff was Facebook Find Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And they I remember one day, and to their credit though, and I will say this to their credit, if I said, "Hey, listen, I already talked to the people who made this," and they admitted it was a hoax, because guess what? I've gotten admissions of people of hoaxing.
Yeah.
Just by simply being blunt. And so at least to their credit, they would take stuff down, but they would make these videos up and try to say why it's a Bigfoot. And, oh, look at the size of this. And, they would do very similar things to what Thinker Thunker is doing.
Right.
Very similar with Thinker. Right. So what happened is the whole Rick Dyer thing started to go down. And I had made mention, because a lot of people were asking, well, who really is behind, Facebook Find Bigfoot? And I had found a post on an old blog that used to be very popular called, what the hell was it? Well, it was a popular blog at the time. I don't remember either. Yeah, a Bigfoot blogger. But,
dang it.
Hold on.
What was that
Chris.
guy's name? Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
You got a request.
Could you please say the chat is hopping tonight? Yes, the chat is hopping tonight.
That's your catchphrase, you know that?
I can't help it. I mean, I'm trying not to look over there because I'm getting a little sidetracked.
So anyway, what had happened was I had made this post on my blog that, and it was common knowledge because it was right there. And the person who really outed them was actually Matt Moneymaker, because they used to be BFRO guys.
Yeah.
So I turn around and post this. And all of a sudden, Noel gets on me on that. You outed my friend, my good friends, blah, 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 blah. And unless you tell people that you were wrong about it and recant, and it would be I can no longer associate you with myself with you. And that would be a great shame, because we're very important researchers in New England. Well, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. So I wrote back to him. I said, so you actually want me to lie? And he turned around and wrote, yes, for your immoral deed. So he asked me to lie. And that's why I will not have anything to do with Chris Noel. He is a immoral guy.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He asked me to lie to every one of you. And you know what? I don't lie.
Ain't interested in that.
We can go back to 2008 where somebody was trying to offer some nice big moolah for me to lie. And I was like, F that. Nope, sorry. Man of integrity. I put it out there. It's the truth. It stays.
That ain't going to work. Yeah. He's got too much character for that, man.
Yep. So. Oh, it's okay, Daniel. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Daniel.
Well, welcome to the gaggle. Well, better late than never. You can always catch the replay of this fun. And this has been a humdinger, and I love it. See, people think that I get flustered, and I may act flustered, but I'm enjoying this. This is good. I like the mental back and forth.
You were getting a little heated there with Pat, though. I mean, his trolling was having an effect on the Kulls. Just a little bit. But yeah, everybody's got the right to their opinion, and that's fine. But if your opinion involves trolling, well, that's something else.
Like saying it 3-4 times, repeating it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You said something, I answered, in 4 or 5 minutes later, you're repeating the same thing.
Yeah. But there are going to be people online and in the world that if you tell them that you had a sighting, you may even tell them about your sighting. They may be interested to hear it, but at the end of the day, they're just going to say you're a liar, you're not telling the truth, and you can't prove what you saw. And what you saw was probably something else, like a bear or something. And those people, you just have to just discount them. Just don't worry about them.
Hello, Griff. Welcome to the show. Better late than never.
Griff, welcome.
Uh-oh. Chris, would you say the chat is in a frenzy tonight?
What are you guys doing? Come on.
You know what? Want me to do it?
You do it, Steve.
Why, holy pickles. That chat room is sure in a frenzy tonight. Good thing I brought my 6 shooters.
I'm gonna try to speak like my good friend Keith Van Emmerich used to speak, and he was from Long Island, New York. Oh, what today? I'm gonna get my radiator fixed on my car.
You sound like a Texan.
Is hopping today.
You sound like a Texan. You sound like Yosemite Sam. Sure is. Whoa, I'm going to get that rabbit. I'm sorry. Sorry, folks. Sorry. We needed a little bit of humor tonight.
My radiator is hopping.
So I see something the Sasquatch about snuck in. Hello. Man, so many people hopping tonight. All right.
The chat is hopping. Woo!
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take a minute break here to breathe for a second, and we'll get back on track. So we're going to just do our little membership ad, and we're going to bring right back.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love.
Hey folks, I want you to consider joining the channel as a member. It's a great way to support great Bigfoot research and an honest channel out there. And it starts at only 99 cents. And already we've announced the 2 new shows we're putting on there. Plus you're going to get a lot more, and you're going to see me uncensored as well. So anyway, folks, consider it. Think about it. We have 3 levels. The highest level is only $4 a month to become a channel sponsor. So a lot of great perks. Check it out. We'll catch you all later. And welcome back, everybody. Well, listen, I get where Pat's coming from. Oh, what happened here? There we go. I get where Pat's coming from, and I can understand that because you know what? I've been there before. I've been like, what the F are we doing? Is all of YouTube? It's nothing but for entertainment. You go on Facebook, and all these people are grandiosing and saying this and that. And what happens is you got so much chaff out there, you're forgetting that there's some wheat. Yeah. And that's our job, is to get that wheat from the chaff. And so I get what he's saying. And I don't know if he's still out there. I think he hung up. I hope not, but because I want him to understand. And I understand where you're getting from. That you have these tracks, they don't mean nothing. You have this, they don't mean nothing. Well, that's,
some
it's
of them don't. Yeah.
Some of them don't, and some of them do.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you have to ask yourself, do you believe these things exist? I mean, by a show of hands in the chat, how many people believe that Sasquatch exist, or how many people are kind of on the fence, or how many people don't believe? I mean, just put it right there in the chat right now. Let's take a quick I don't know if I should play the Jeopardy. Go ahead, write it up there. We still got 59 people in the chat. Let's hear some ideas. Do you believe it? Okay, we got one believe. Jay says, I know. Yep, there too. Joe isn't here tonight, but we should count him as a vote as well.
Yeah.
Griff is on the fence. Very good. There's nothing wrong with being on the fence. Even there is. Yep. So yeah.
All right. Now I'm signed in here.
Uh-oh. Chris, talk for a second. I'm going to go over here and open the door because I'm getting a knock on the door.
Okay. Yeah. I saw. Oh, I'm going to get this in check. Dang, I can't spell. I mean, okay, yeah, I'm from Kentucky. I saw some big feet. Yeah. And, even the people that have seen them or that haven't seen them, but, they had an experience like, well, I was out in the woods and, something snorted at me and then took off running. And I looked, there was something on two legs. I don't know what it was. But, yeah,
so
some big feet.
So the pooches wanted to come in. They were knocking at the door for whatever reason. So
yeah, Mick's got a good point too. He said he hates the use of the term believe because that's sort of a religious based response, like a
it's not
faith thing,
No, it's not. It's not religious based. Okay, do you believe that the Florida? Do you believe the Florida Gators have a chance at winning the bowl this year? Do you believe the Yankees are going to remain in the cellar this year? Because they certainly do stink. Right? So believe is just an opinion.
Yeah.
We get hung up on words. We get hung up on vernacular. And that is another issue in the Bigfoot community.
Believer.
Knower.
Knower.
I don't like that word either. I'm a knower. Well, what do you know? And not to take offense to that word, but the people that generally call themselves knower have a Bigfoot sighting, and they claim to know everything about the creature.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Hey, I saw a car out there in my driveway. That doesn't mean I know how to replace the transmission.
Right.
Right?
Or what it eats.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? It's there are literally thousands, and probably by this point in time, tens of thousands of people who have gotten a glimpse of one of these things at some point during their lives, or maybe when they were growing up.
Yeah,
they had a family member that had an experience.
Rich made a great comment as well. The shark jumping buzzwords. Yeah, knower. I'm a knower. Now, here's another buzzword that people go apeshit about in the Bigfoot community is the word expert.
Yeah.
And I saw that, somebody put a post up. I'm looking for a Bigfoot expert to come talk at the library. And there's somebody, there are no Bigfoot experts, blah, blah. Really? Really? Okay. So you don't even know what the word expert means. Because expert is just a point of reference. For example, if I'm a plumber, and I've used this before, if I'm a plumber, and I go to your home because you have a problem with your toilet,
right? Turlet.
If I have a problem with the toilet, right? Am I the expert? Well, yes, I am.
Yes, sir. That's right. You're the toilet expert.
If I go back to the shop with all the other plumbers, am I the expert?
No. You're one of the
expert is a frame of reference. A librarian has no idea anything to do about Bigfoot. So guess what? They're looking for people that know something about Bigfoot. Because, like it or not, folks, researchers to the common person are the experts, because the common person doesn't know a fifth of what we know about things. And people say, well, what do we know? Well, if you're on my thing, side of the fence, well, they're primate. That means there's a whole list of behaviors they follow. There's a way they habitate. There's a way they behave in their habitat, right? We know the history of the thing. We know whether hoaxes, which are not. What's what are the misnomers? What are the mismarks? That's the expertise in us.
Yeah, Rich said, "Good grief." Yes, the self-proclaimed expert.
But
that's something I think you shouldn't like self-proclaim yourself to be.
Right. I don't say I'm a Bigfoot expert. No.
Yeah.
But somebody says, hey, I'm looking for experts. Don't get all bummed up, especially if somebody writes, oh, we have a Bigfoot expert, blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't call myself that. They're calling me that because to them, I am the expert.
Yes.
Simple as that. Just like when somebody asked me to be, for an investigation on, oh, my wife is cheating on me or my husband's cheating on me. Who do they call me? Because I'm the expert.
Yeah.
I'm the expert in how to set it up, do the surveillance, and do backgrounds and see what we need to do. Doesn't mean that, I go to a convention of PIs that I'm an expert. I'm just one of the guys. Right?
Steve, the other context, but at work in engineering, we often use the term
experts. That's pretty good.
Oh, it's very good. Steve. Yeah, you're killing me, man.
No, Mick, actually, you're the expert on the worst meatloaf in the world. We will grant you that title.
Oh man.
But yeah.
See, I would disagree with Mick because I love meat. I've never had a bad meatloaf. I love meatloaf. Even when somebody said, "Oh, this is terrible," I'm like, "What's wrong with you, dude? This is good."
Are you kidding?
What I was raised on.
Well, my ex-wife, my ex-wife was the worst cook in the world. Yeah, she gave my kid alphabet. She spelled out help.
Was this was this the point where would you leave dental floss out for the cockroaches?
Yeah, leave the dental floss out so the roaches can hang themselves. The flies chipped in to fix the screen door.
Oh man.
Are you kidding? In my house, we pray after we eat.
You're killing me.
All right, that's...
Yeah, I think I saw Matt said he was heading to Berea, Kentucky a while ago, next week or something. That was way up there. I'm sorry, Matt. The chat room is hopping. Look at this.
Oh, you got it again. Ding, ding. I wish I had my soundboard. Yeah. We'll give you another clap.
And I don't
no problem, Don. It's all right. You're good, man. Well, hello, Aaron. Good to see you. And your Todd Stanley is an expert hoaxer. Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that. He's fooled a lot of people over the years and has gotten some major television coverage over Muppets and puppets. And that damn camera keeps going. What do I got, a ghost in here?
Maybe you're bumping the table accidentally. Maybe
I shouldn't spin it.
I noticed it moving. Or like we need to be filming an episode of Paranormal something? Camera moves on its own.
Ah, you see now. Hello, Jeff. Now we have a man that knows his meatloaf.
All right. Fresh rosemary. Hey, that sounds
good. Matt's blaming the camera on Nikki. That was also a joke in reference to the previous show I did.
Hey, garlic is also important in your meatloaf.
Garlic?
Chop that garlic up and put in there. That makes a big difference.
I like a little chopped garlic, a little chopped onion, a little chopped pepper, a little green pepper, or some nice red bell pepper.
Yeah, the first time my wife made meatloaf, she didn't put any garlic in, and we were like, okay, well, once a week's not bad.
Very true, Brian. And good to see one of our members, Brian Barber. Yeah. He's no expert with Muppets because Jim Henson's monster looks more like Bigfoot than what Todd posted. So let me get to the final thing of the night. We're at 10:30, so we're getting close to we're getting close to the finish line. Oh yeah, Brian says onion soup mix. The problem is now hold on. There's a problem with onion soup mix. When I eat it, the next day, nobody can stand 10 feet around me.
Well, onions do.
Well, no, I can chop onion in there. I'll be fine. If I deal with onion soup mix or I eat onion soup, the results can be quite offensive. And just one of those things that sets my system off.
Well, we was doing that since we're on onion soup now. We used to get the Lipton onion soup mix and then mix that in with 1 pack with 2 pounds of ground beef back when I could eat ground beef. And that would make the best grilled burgers. It really would. They had a nice onion flavor to them.
Yes, Aaron, we call them the Standlings. And the way I fight off the Standlings is I show him a picture of the very first Muppet that he put out there. And say, do you believe this is a Bigfoot? And you know what? 99.9% of them won't answer the question because they know how stupid it is. I like is a good French onion soup with a melted cheese on top and the croutons on it or the baguette. Here we are. Dallas 33, Giants.
Oh, man. Oh, that was terrible. Giants didn't even get a goal? Come on, man.
Well, they're aiming to be the best soccer team in the world.
God.
Brian, yes. And I when they start chattering, oh, you don't know anything about Todd, and I've had that trollistic comment on Facebook, and they haven't commented since I did that the last time. They will not comment on anything I write about Steve the last time because I'll put something out and now they won't say nothing. But they used to say, oh, you can't say that, blah, blah, blah. You're just jealous. Really? Are you saying this is a Bigfoot? Because answer me that question. Do you believe this is a Bigfoot? And then I wait a day and I say, well, I'm still waiting for an answer.
Yeah.
And then they say something else. Oh, no. You don't get to ask me a question. Answer my question first. And that usually shuts them right the hell up.
Yeah.
Because they damn well know it's not a Bigfoot.
Right.
They're just in it for the cult of personality he is or he claims to be. And you know what? I don't want no harm. I don't hate the guy.
No.
I just dislike, I said, what I hate is that he is doing a disservice to the legitimate witnesses to this phenomenon.
Right.
And that it doesn't matter if you've seen one cloak. It doesn't matter if you've seen one poof into an orb. It doesn't matter. It's still a disservice. Hoaxing is a disservice to all of you. All right, Molly, thanks for being here. You give Joe our love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's again the first term you'll hear on by people who are legitimately criticizing stuff. Oh, you're just jealous, or you're a hater.
You're jealous.
Whatever. I'm jealous. Yeah, you know what? And I've actually let those comment. Now, usually if somebody calls a name or something like that, like there was a trollistic comment, and a guy had, forget his name, Jason 9015 or something like that at YouTube, his YouTube channel. He's got 13 subscribers, and the last video he posted was 3 years ago. He has 3 videos, and not one of them has over 50 views. And he came on this and basically said I was an idiot for believing how that might have been a kid swinging in the tree with the New York Baby video. Right? Or the pigeon video. You with me? So I just deleted them. But you know why? The thing is, if you're going to start off an argument by calling somebody a name, you've lost that argument. It means your argument is not valid.
Right. You've already lost.
Well, like that moron didn't realize all the hours, the man hours that I put into doing the research on that.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyway,
they're going to get into arguing or trolling. They really need to learn their logical fallacy arguments.
Yeah, they need to learn their art a little bit better. So I was like, remove, delete. And guess what? Because he could name called, now he doesn't get to comment on the channel.
Yeah,
anymore.
that's an automatic loser right out of the gate there, you know.
Yep. You know, he could have said, why don't you believe this is a child or something like that? No, he's going to sit there and say, oh, you're an idiot. Blah, blah. Okay, whatever there, troll. Have a nice day. Good luck with your 3 videos. And they were horrible, by the way. He was trying to rap or something like that. And it was like, oh, don't quit your day job at the 7-Eleven.
Oh, well. I've heard terrible
I'm on fire tonight, if you can't tell. You know, I'm in that kind of mood. Like, you know, and, you know, it's like, oh, see, I did move. I banged the table.
Well, you know, you're going to get a few trolls every now and then, and it's going to happen. You know, I think it's funny myself. I mean, I get some trolls on my channel every now, but I really don't have time for that, so I just delete them. But yeah, it's going to happen. And you remember those calls every now and then when we were doing the blog talk show? We would get like a phone call in. There would be a prank call. And, you know, I kind of miss those. Those were fun. Yeah,
I used to have some good comebacks. I always had some comebacks waiting for me. I got a UFO in my pants. And my response to that was, yeah, I'm surprised you could see it without a microscope.
Those were the good old days. That was funny. And it was fun. But, yeah, a little sidetrack every now and then is healthy, I think.
Ever since we oh, that's too funny, though. So anyway, what really burns my butt, too, is when you have somebody that has projected over the years themselves to be a respected researcher and such. And then you find out a couple of back things. And I remember, and this will be coming out this week on the deep dive, perhaps Wednesday or Thursday. If you turn around and understand that I saw this picture and I was like, I know that from somewhere. But then life was getting busy and I forgot it and I let it go. And then I find out it ties into my Josh Highcliffe, the Mississippi skunk ape thing, which I thoroughly gave plenty of receipts for that too.
Oh yeah, that was put to bed. Yes,
but I found out that the same person had made a statement that Josh Highcliffe was just a pseudonym, and I was actually met him and talked to the witness and saw his video and went out with him, and we actually had some experience.
Ooh.
Right? And then I said, well, that's going to cause me to look at, oh yeah, that person put a picture out there a couple of years ago, a FLIR picture. Oh, why this is, I remember where I've seen this before. So that's what's going to end up happening. But
coming soon,
but that person is, you know, part of a couple of reputable organizations.
Now that's saddening and shocking.
Right. So that one, yeah, I'm going to have to be a little political with that one and make a couple of phone calls. But unfortunately, that's what it takes. And I don't care. This person's been on my friends list for like 6 years, 7 years, whatever. You know, you're hoaxing the public. And especially now you've crossed into one of my investigations, you know, and there's no supporting evidence at all to the claim of being with Highcliffe.
Well, when you put yourself out there,
there is a possibility
there was hoaxed evidence, Steve. You put yourself out there to be.
I gotta say this. There's a little birdie that's feeding me some information, and he gave me another name to check out. And so far, I'm starting to connect the dots, which means that I have a feeling where the video may have originated from.
Okay.
I just might. So that's what's coming this week. Of course, there's going to be a new driver's side chat this week. And there's going to probably, I don't know if there's going to be a vlog this week. I'm kind of cagey, so I may do a vlog this week. But yeah. So,
more to come.
More to come. A lot going on. A lot of stuff. And you know what? I got to tell you, I have 5 separate investigations I'm doing right now that's lined up. And I'm going to get to them as I can throughout the weeks coming. So I got some material. Plus, I aim to get out in the field this week as well. So, so that's going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be videoing up there. I probably will do some video, but you know me, I like playing around at night. So video ain't going to be that great. I do have some night vision, which will probably be in use. And, nope, Brian, none in Michigan. A couple are investigations on people per se, and some of the claims they're making, and a couple are, I actually did get a piece of evidence from somebody, a trail cam photo. Looks interesting, but we gotta put it through the ringer. So we shall see.
And now, since Labor Day has passed, when it starts cooling up a little bit, I'm gonna get out there and maybe do a few strolls. Hopefully, I won't feed as many ticks this time.
Very true. But Chris, I think we've had a great show tonight.
Yeah,
and
it was good to be back.
Good to be back. We'll be back, of course, next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Again, I can't stress enough. Let's get the GoFundMe out to Joe if you can.
Yeah.
Anything helps. Anything helps. You want to throw $1 in there, $1 better than nothing.
That's right.
So, but folks, we appreciate everybody here. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all, it's been one of those weeks. It's been a couple of hell weeks.
It has been rough. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get through it.
Yeah.
And, that's right, Griff, keep your eyes open, man. You never know. And, you know, again, we're doing the Whitehall Sasquatch Festival September 30th. So if anybody can make it up to there for the Whitehall Festival, guess what? Whoever wants to go with me and go out afterwards, we're going to hit a place for dinner after the festival, and then we're going out to the woods for a while.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah.
So anybody wants to, hey, guess who joined the channel?
Oh, B, thank you.
B, thank you. So anyway, yeah, so anybody wants to join us, they can join us. I'm going to make some phone calls and stuff too, because there's a few people I want to remind that I've talked to at other conferences that live locally. Actually, it's kind of funny. I met somebody at Chautauqua last year, and he wanted to go, and you know, that stuff we've been is so on the moment. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, definitely. And you can join us. Like I said, any of the members can join us.
Yeah.
And same here. So you guys want to tag along?
Oh, grasshopper. Oh, man. Me neither, grasshopper. Don't worry. I can't be there either, but I wish I could. I wish it was closer. Anything over 2 hours is rough for me. But yeah, we appreciate you guys, though.
Don, yes, I am. Don asked if I was going to where I had my site. And I'm like, yep, that's where. And I'll tell you what, I did a pre-scout about a month ago. Surprisingly, and I did it midweek, and it was empty. The place was quiet. Oh, and it's kind of got that creepy feel back to it. I'm hearing little things again. So, like, oh, we may be in for, absolutely, Alex will be there as well.
And after Labor Day, it's going to be starting to cool up some now. So, yeah, they might.
Yeah, by the end of the month, we'll have to be wearing coats.
Yeah.
Especially at that elevation. Because it's
about 1,000 around that area now.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 feet up, 1,100 feet up, so above sea level. So, so anyway, folks, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe week. We will catch you all next Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I want everybody again Keep your prayers for Joe.
Yeah.
And Chris, take us out with our usual play here.
Yeah. Thank everybody again for joining us tonight. We love you guys in chat. The greatest audience on YouTube anywhere, bar none. You guys make the show, and we wouldn't be here without you. We appreciate your love and support. And if you can, if it's your first time at the show, or first time watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, punch the like button, thumbs up. Come on, hit the share if you can. It really helps out the algorithm. And please check down at the description after the show, and check out for that link for Joe. Help Joe out with whatever you can. He deserves some help. He's a great guy, and he's down right now, and we need to help pick him back up if we can. But thank you guys. I appreciate you.
And folks, again, have a happy, healthy, safe week. God bless. And of course, keep on squatching. We'll catch you all here next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Squatch-D TV.
Hey folks, you've been watching Squatch-D TV. Join us each week, Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest on the Bigfoot mystery. As always, we thank you for being our loyal viewers and encourage all to subscribe to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Steve Kulls. As always, have a great week. Stay safe. God bless and keep on squatching.